So let's talk about Carsen Edwards, because he
Ooh.
may be getting a little too crazy shooting the 3-ball, right? But at
Nah.
the same time, this is where you want to showcase he's playing great defense.
Right.
This is the kind of scrappy, somewhat undersized, fits Brad Stevens' system kind of player. And he could be a really underrated guy off the bench. Might get more minutes than you'd expect.
Yeah, it's interesting because, of course, they brought back Wanamaker, and so you wonder, okay, well, there'll be a battle there, I would think, for backup point guard minutes. But I love everything I see out of Carsen Edwards. I mean, if you accept him for who he is, right? If you're not trying to make him into something else, if you're not trying to say, okay, this guy has got to become a distributor, a playmaker, and he's got to do all these things, and he can shoot, and like, if you just back off from that a second and you just said, look, he's Eddie House 2.0, right? And he's strong. He's got a good wingspan, so he can defend a little bit bigger than his height would indicate.
And better than Eddie. I mean, Eddie was
better than Eddie. Yeah, he's giving effort on that end, certainly. I think it's an unbelievable deal. And, there was a lot of people who have been complaining about the fact the Celtics made those moves and they could have had this guy, they could have had that guy in the latter half of the first round. But those moves not only got them a first-round pick that could be used at some point to get somebody, or they've also allowed them to go back and get the 33rd pick so they could get Carsen Edwards. And so I think he's going to be a contributor this year. I don't know to what degree. We always see these rookies that come in that we think can shoot, but maybe they can't shoot or whatever. So I try to put high expectations on that, but he seems like a guy that can get. He's playing with a lot of confidence, and as long as he's able to keep that going, I think he's going to be able to, bring that into what Brad needs him to do, because that's the thing. When we talk about Yabu walked in not having really been indoctrinated into the Celtics system, played great, played with confidence. Now he's had trouble trying to find his time. It's kind of slowed him down. Let's see if Edwards can keep that momentum going while also integrating into what the Celtics need him to do.
Well, he's getting a lot of touches, right? I mean, the ball is in his hands a ton, and a lot of that is just reps. And they're going to teach the same system. It just may not be played against the same quality of opponent. So when he comes to training camp, where do you have him on the depth chart? Because, I mean, really what you have is Kemba and then Smart, depending on if he's in the starting lineup or if he's coming off the bench. I mean, you almost have him at like 2 or 3, right? Depending on.
I'll tell you. Well, it's interesting because it's a question of what they end up doing with the power forward position, because if you do play Jason, Jalen, and Gordon, right, in your starting lineup with Kemba, and you fill a center there, one of Smart or Brown is going to have to sit. Now, if Smart's the one that sits, he's generally probably going to be the point guard in that second group. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to have Marcus Smart next to Carsen Edwards? We know Marcus has the size to guard the shooting guards, but Marcus can run the team, and you've got Carsen shooting. I mean, that seems to be a good fit positionally in terms of what those skill sets bring.
Yeah,
to the
role
table.
Reversal on offense and defense.
Totally, yeah. Yep. I mean, it's we saw it a lot in the Allen Iverson. I'm not comparing Carsen Edwards to Allen Iverson, but and Eric Snow, a 6'6" point guard who was distributing, defending, and could guard the bigger player. But you had AI doing what AI did. I wonder if that's a model to look at for the Celtics here. I do think Wanamaker is going to get a strong look. I don't think that they're bringing him back just to bring him back. He's going to play. He's going to play a hell of a lot more than he did last season. And I think that's a good thing, because I thought he performed pretty well when he was out there.
Yeah, he did well when he was out there. The biggest thing is whoever can help generate offense on that second unit. That's going to be the biggest key. It's not the defense. These guys are scrappy, and the guys coming off the bench, Brown or Smart or both, depending on how they run the rotations and the transition, they're all going to be defenders. And, obviously Carsen's a very strong defender too. It's going to be one of those things where it's all going to come down to offense, I think.